Hey, let's talk about gifts, man. What type of gifts do you like to receive? Like, fellas, y'all like those baskets with just that be like deodorants, body washes, and drawers? Ladies, y'all just like the flowers and the chocolate, like, right? Don't nobody really like those gifts, right? But what we really want is like thought out gifts, man. Let me know that you care about my favorite color. I mean, because at least we know how we do as humans. We will be dropping hints to what we really want. We'll be giving, even as going as far as being direct to say what we really want. That's how we do. So, do we think God do that same thing? Let's go look at it, man. Let's go. So remember last time when we were talking about God's love and we got on the Amalekites and how they attacked Israel as they were coming out when they were at their weakest. And in Deuteronomy chapter 25, verses 17 through 19, God tells them to remember what the Amalekites did to them when they came out, because he's going to blot their name out from under heaven when they get into the promised land. So I brought that up because I want to go into Samuel, where, remember last time, it shows God keeping that promise. I want to go there for a reason. So let's head over to Samuel. So let's also remember this is God keeping his promise about removing the Amalekites. So right here in 1 Samuel 15, 1 through 3, we see that Samuel is giving King Saul the mission to go take out the Amalekites. And in verses 4 through 6, it shows the beginning of him doing that. The problem begins in verse 7 through 9. So let's start there. And it reads, Then Saul attacked the Amalekites all the way from Havilah to Shur, near the eastern border of Egypt. He took Agag, king of the Amalekites, alive, and all his people he totally destroyed with the sword. But Saul and the army spared Agag and the best of the sheep and cattle, the fat calves and lambs, everything that was good. These they were unwilling to destroy completely, but everything that was despised and weak, they totally destroyed. So we remember what the instruction was, right? To blot out everything. Don't leave no camels, no donkey, no men, no women, all of that, right? But right there in verse 9, it says it, but Saul and the army spared Agag and the best of the sheep and cattle, the fat calves and lambs, everything that was good. This is what they did. But let's check out Samuel's response to this. So still being in chapter 15 of 1 Samuel, in verses 10 and 11, Samuel receives a word from the Lord saying that he had regretted making Saul king because Saul didn't carry out the instructions. And after crying out to the Lord all night, Samuel gets up and goes to confront Saul. So in verses 13 through 19, he goes to confront him, and it comes into a head in verse 20. And it reads, But I did obey the Lord, Saul said. I went on the mission the Lord assigned me. I completely destroyed the Amalekites and brought back Agag, their king. The soldiers took sheep and cattle from the plunder, the best of what was devoted to God, in order to sacrifice them to the Lord your God at Gilgal. But Samuel replied, Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of the rams. See, it's right there, 22. It says, But Samuel replied, Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Man, like, he was really driving home a point of the best thing that he could have did is not look at the best gift that he could have gave God and what he wanted to give, but what the Lord was really asking for, which was obedience. And in that moment, the obedience that he needed from Saul was to totally blot out the Amalekites and take out everything and leave nothing. That was the best gift that he could have gave him. But He wanted to do what he decided he wanted to do. And since he wanted to do what he wanted to do, he would totally miss the mark at the heart that God was really wanting him to get. Because even when you look at the Levitical laws that that Moses gives the people of Israel, obedience is what he was really looking for. Because out of being obedient, you develop the fruits of the Spirit. Like, what Spirit? The Holy Spirit. So as you begin to do his will and what he requires of you, you build up his character. And that is how, and once you build up his character, as you're doing his will, you begin to be this thing called a light, or an example of his character to all of those around us, which is the mission that he had gave the people of Israel in the beginning. So I end this with a question of, what type of gift giver are you? Do you care about the person that you're giving a gift to? Or do you just want to get them the basket with the drawers and the and the body wash? It's all on you. Till next time, be strong, family.